Hello, this is Pixie. Yeah, the Leech, I don't know, he's interested, but I know he's actually hungry. There's times when he moves around, there's times he sleeps a bit. Periods of activity. At the moment he's just investigating his environment. He kind of was interested in my finger now, for some reason. It's like, I can't bite through that. The problem with a leech is that you can't necessarily feed him any time. You've got to feed him when you're not busy. At the moment he's trying to probe my finger, which wouldn't be too bad because if he drained from my finger, I could just wrap a tight plaster around it really. You're doing something, I can feel him. I mean, it might be easier to soak a part of your body while he's doing something. To soften your skin so they can do what they need to do basically. Because it hasn't had a feed, it's been with me for a month, and I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't want it to die of starvation. It's fairly cute really. You have to build a relationship with it. Because at first I was poking it on the tank and trying to get it to move and do stuff, and it kind of went defensive and would shy away from me. Now it's sort of interested. So I'm giving it a chance to figure it out. It could also be that I'm a different species to whatever it was feeding before. I can feel this sensation on my finger, but I don't think it's doing anything. They also don't like the light, so it might be hiding from the light. But it's likely the skin on my hand is going to be much thicker than anywhere else, so... Yeah, it's probably important to have a sterile environment. I've got like this silicone gel it came in with. This is just so it could, if it wanted to climb off me, I could put it into something, because sometimes they can move quite quickly. Or they just keep rolling off you. But at the moment it's just like, this is probably a more comfortable environment for it. Because naturally the human skin's quite salty, so it's doing something now. See the end of its mouth. I can't really zoom in because my the other hand has been taken. It's trying to do something. I mean, this is quite low management if it does bite your finger, because, like I say, you just wrap something tight on his finger. It will bleed for a while, but if you're off from work for a bit, it's fine. Otherwise, you might have to put it somewhere else. However, it's learning, so... And then once it's fed, it doesn't have to. You won't probably have to eat for 6 months. 6 months beyond. So it'll be interesting. It's weird suction on me. It might be nibbling in. It's going to have to take a while. Yeah, I can feel like a tingly sensation. So it is getting in now. I can feel like the bit like a way a syringe would feel. A little pin. Yeah, the process can take up to about 40 minutes. Could take longer than that. So I'm just going to leave them on there for a while then see it. Eventually it drops off itself. If it is feeding, I imagine a finger is probably quite easy to access. Because it's not like there's loads of fatty tissue, see, that's the thing. So what it uses with its leech venom, I don't like I say, I feel a tingling, but it's that it slowly breaks the blood down. Once its anticoagulant's gone in there and stuff, don't it? Yeah, there's some strange sensation. It's the painkiller. It's like tingling in my nerves. And so there was like a little electric jolt then. I got some like cotton bud and some tape. I just wrap it around it. And then you can just raise your hand up, and then it can take it could take 4 hours. It could take longer before it stops bleeding. I have to find out. I also got some sodium hydroxide, and that could be used. That breaks down the how is it, Harudin or something, the chemical they use. Or salt, to be honest, actually. Dip your finger in a lot of salt, it sting, but it drains the fluid away from the actual wound, so, and it sterilises it as well. So say wash your finger afterwards and sterilise and stuff. Depending on what it's actually doing, until it starts pumping up in size. It looks bigger, but you never know. I don't want to disrupt it coming off, or was it try to bite somewhere else. So the mouth's under my finger, the sucker's on top of the fingernail. It's squirming, so I imagine it's feeding. Look at its body. But also I'm using it for my hypertension. Now this morning it was 131 over 96, I think. It put me as hypertension level 1. So this would be interesting to see if this actually also has an impact on that. I had to take some so you can see it's growing. It's sucking. I mean, all they can feel is a slight, there's kind of a slight sort of, initially there was a sting, like a pinch or something. There's not a lot going on. What not to do is pull him off, because he won't vomit a load of stuff into my system. I don't want that, because I don't know why he's sucking it, he's drawing it out, so there's no issue there. He's going a little bonkers. The other thing as well is that I've been taking some blood pressure medication. He's stretching out, okay? That's because his body keeps getting fatter and fatter. I'll let him chill out in here for a bit before I put him straight back in the tank. Depends how energised he is. He's probably going to be absolutely knackered. But at least I'm pleased, because I didn't want him to sort of to die off, and also I want the benefits of that. So what I was trying to mention is that I'm on some blood pressure medication, ramipril and amlodipine, and one opens up my blood vessels, and the other one does something to do with the liver and the blood. I didn't quite understand it fully, but you end up weeing a lot, basically. So it's all a part of an experiment to reduce blood pressure. I mean, if it works, I mean, basically, this could extend my life, basically. I've known people with certain blood pressure disorders, and they've used things like they've given blood, actually. There was a chap who had too much iron in his system. His body is poisonous when you've got too much of something. It's crazy, isn't it? feel quite relaxed actually. And there's a little bit of nerve pain. So it could be the chemical agent you're using. Maybe because I'm pressing down on the thing a bit, I don't know. But yeah, I think as a newbie to kind of like leeches, just to start off with one. I mean, I know they sent me 2 of them. They didn't quite send me what I want, but it doesn't matter because this one's. I mean, they can live for 10 years, so this is, this was fine. And like I say, they only feed They feed depends on the age of the leech. It's either monthly or every 6 months, and then after that, it could be up to a year, depending on the size of it. And the health effects and benefits are going to last probably about 4 to 6 months, I think. Like some of the pain-killing elements for things like arthritis, and also the coagulant. I don't know how long that lasts. I think probably about 48 hours it'll get broken down. It could be longer than that, They're also quite shy creatures, so it's kind of like, say, build up a relationship, so they're not afraid of you, which sounds strange. Like I washed my hand anyway before I touched it, because I thought if it's salty or I've got anything that I've come in contact with it, because humans use cleaning agents and all sorts around, so there's no issue there. I think it's more relaxed in a kind of wet environment like I've got here. And I think also if you wanted it to sort of latch onto your hand or something, you could just soak your hand to it. You've got wrinkly fingers, and then it would be quite easy, I guess. The other thing as well to be aware, because naturally so much chemicals and saliva going to be in my system. That's the idea of the benefits. Be aware of anything like heart rate changes. Like I said, I feel quite relaxed, but that's probably also a reduction in blood pressure. My heart's fine as well. There's no issue there. And my temperature's fine. You kind of get that idea of it, a feeling for it. I'll probably later say take blood pressure reading, and I'll pop that on there. It may have actually reduced it, so that'd be interesting. Yeah, because I think with it being the left arm, it will go through the heart. Just thinking the way it circulates the blood. It might actually go into the rest of the system first. It might go downhill. It's fairly easy to apply pressure to your finger. I mean, the other thing that could be used in the kind of leech therapy is using acupressure points. But it's a bit more of an art then, because if you've got a tough bit of skin, that you won't want to go through that. But you could also exercise them, apply pressure to them afterwards. I think the other thing is about feeding time for these critters is you need to be in a time where there's no rush, because if I had to rush out, well, I can't do that, because I don't know how long. I mean, it's been 21 minutes. It might be on there for an hour. His body is going mad. What the hell? There's some other cool leeches. I've seen tiger leech seems quite crazy as well. There could be a way to get them to crossbreed. That'd be pretty bizarre. Make my own form of leech. And initially, when I was a child, I would do things where I'd have my own little pond, but I'd visit a local lake and I'd try to get like snails and things that were in there. Water snails and water boatmen and all these other things. I tried to put them in there, and when I was looking at one time, I had must have been like a river leech. It was a black one, but I didn't realise it was stuck to me, and it was biting me. And I didn't realise it. I pulled it off at the time. But what the hell's that? And I noticed it did bleed for a while. I didn't really think about it. I said, oh, it must have been a leech or something. But and so as a child, I had that experience. I didn't really notice it at all, really, but I pulled it off. I did notice it when I pulled it off, which is what I don't want to do. I'd cause it to try to bite down harder. I mean, you can use your fingernail to remove this, I say, but you can imagine pushing something into your face. How unpleasant that'd be, because you could end up damaging the leech. I mean, it's only like a jelly. It's only like a bit like a slug, but it's a bit softer than a slug, to be honest. It's a bit like an earthworm. It's probably closer to what it is. Yeah, it's quite crazy. It's a lot bigger now. They are saying it can go up to 5 times bigger, so that'd be interesting. And it wasn't so hard to get him on either, because I think once my hand was in there, and he is hungry, because what's happened is when I put my hand in the tank, he's climbed on me, but he hasn't got a clue how to feed on me. Basically, it's just figuring it out. He's thinking, well, how can I get into this? Because I'm obviously different in some way. And then he's thought, oh, well, there is an access point here. Let's get in now. So he's my slug baby, basically. I could refer to him, but I was going to call Leanna. Leanna the Leech. Lehman, maybe, or something. And of course, I'm not giving any medical advice to anyone, because I don't want them to think that. But normally, if you keep a pet like this, they will feed. And if you're an adult of my age, it's not really a big issue. I mean, if you're younger, obviously a child or something, then you need to get some sort of consultation with your parents before you get involved with these things. Because, I mean, I don't think you'd be allergic to them, but you never know. Because they basically suck rather than that, but they use their venom to break down your blood so they can feed on it, which is pretty much what he did. So when I felt the sharpness in it, he probably was also injecting some of his venom into me. Looks like, yeah, he's detached. He's detached and I'm bleeding. That's fine. So I'm going to sort that out. This is Pigsy signing off. See, I could just pinch it like that. That's fine. I'm going to pop him back in his tank. As he's he's absolutely bloated. It's like, what the hell? It was quite a quick feed actually, but he's not massive, so he's trying to move around, but he's absolutely knackered at the moment. I'll pop him back in the tank in a bit, but you don't want to shock him. And plus it's room temperature, the water anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. It's easy. It's just gonna just bleed quite easy. To be honest, I could pinch it like that, and look at that. It's not really. Just hold it like that for ages, and it'll probably heal. That's quite fascinating, actually. See, it's not pumping out like mad. We will do that. I just put a treatment on, like I say, salt, squeeze it like this, hold it for a period of time, and I'll force it to clot, basically. Anyway, take care. This is Pigsy signing off. Bye. Also, right colour, brown, red.